Hey y'all, it's the Dragon King. Welcome to Dragon King 72 Media LLC on YouTube, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on Instagram, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on X, formerly known as Twitter, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on Instagram. Did I say Instagram? Yeah, Instagram and TikTok, Dragon King 72 Media. If you've read the caption, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm. Uh, you know where I'm starting. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going to end up. Let's talk about this whole Usher thing, right? Um, first of all, Usher is phenomenal. You know, he's my generation. Um, my generation is not Chris Brown. I love Usher, his music. You know what I'm saying? Um, he's been around a long time. He is a legend in the R&B world. Um, and you know he did his Las Vegas residency, which is one of the most profitable residencies that they've seen in years. Everybody came to see him. He was phenomenal. So he brought a little bit of that to the R&B R&B tour with Chris Brown, his junior, in terms of age. And so they were in Chattanooga, Tennessee. A young lady by the name of Cheyenne, um, who has some exotic features. You know, she's of lighter skin, long, pretty hair. She was brought on stage by Usher. There was this very intimate type of thing that they do. Him and Chris Brown, they bring a female up. They, start doing that machismo thing. You know, the ladies love it. You know, they're being catered to and things like that, right? And so they do this in every city. A lot of I haven't been to the concert, but a lot of the ladies and people say that is one of the highlights of the concert. So he brings up on say you can tell she's not into it. She's leaning back. She's just not giving the energy that, according to her, she said she would have if it was Chris Brown. According to her, she said they came to her, they put her in VIP and said there's a possibility she may go on stage. And according to her Instagram post, after all the shit that was said and done, she's a bad bitch. She's a pretty privileged bitch. The people in Chattanooga are jealous of her, the women specifically, and she don't give a fuck about what nobody thinks. She's a pretty bitch, and she's a privileged pretty bitch. And her auntie also talked about how beautiful and fucking badass bitch she was, and you know what I'm saying, all the things, right? And so consequently, she also had did a TMZ video with TMZ, about how, you know, she didn't know what was going on, okay, and that, you know, she would have preferred Chris Brown uh, to do this whole, you know, intimacy stage performance. Um, so I'm trying to figure out how does she go from that to talking about she in a live she has so much decorum, she has so much. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, judging her on trying to have a break from her life and have a little fun, because we all need that. No matter how much decorum and professionalism we have, we all need to express, you know, some fun and excitement in our lives. So she's up there, and she talks about she has a decorum and she won't be bullied, and you know she keeps to herself. She don't bother nobody. This, that, and the third. And so, of course, you have nasty comments on everybody else's channel about she didn't want, uh, allegedly, Usher's, you know, herpes, you know, because years ago he was accused of having herpes and whatnot. And so they're making all the, you know, the shade comments and things like that. They probably gonna be making some here for those that do watch this fucking video. And so she starts talking about how, you know, she didn't, it wasn't about Usher and she preferred Chris Brown. So how do you how okay, you prefer you wish it was Chris Brown, then you so I'm getting that she would have been the fun freak. She would have give more into uh, the playfulness of what that particular part of the show is had it been Chris Brown. How do you go from implying that you would have been freaky for Chris Brown, but yet on the other hand, you have decorum, you're so this and you're so that, and then, you won't be bullied into, pretending you're something you're not, but then you got a whole fucking long ass tweet, Instagram post, whatever the fuck it is, talking about you a pretty bitch, you know what I'm saying, you the baddest bitch, you know what I'm saying, pretty privileged. So is she fucking bipolar or something? Because it's giving like you've been told all of your life that you are the best looking person, best looking female around, and I can assure you that she is not. Now, don't get me wrong; she's very pretty. The Cheyenne person from Chattanooga, Tennessee, she's very pretty, but I'm assuming that she has been told that and she's believed that because of her light skin aesthetics. And I can tell you right now that that light skin, long, pretty hair aesthetic, pretty face, that shit is a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? It's a dime. It's a nickel a dozen in the United States because that physical aesthetic with her light skin and her long hair and nice body, that shit is a dime a dozen in the United States. There are people in my females in my family that look, they have that same aesthetic, fine as hell, light skin on her, but so do my chocolate cousin, so do my brown skin cousin. That's an aesthetic. That light skin, long hair, pretty, that shit is dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come from some, your Christian God. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not Christian. Your Christian God didn't create you and then break the fucking mold, and no more light skinned women that look like you with that aesthetic were not going to be created again in your Christian God's lifetime. That ain't how that shit work. You know what I'm saying? Her aesthetic is not unique. There was no mold broken after she. You know what I'm saying? That she has an aesthetic that is dime a dozen. I could walk any. I could walk on a mile in any direction, and see the same exact female walking around. As far as the light skin, pretty long hair aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? I can that's an aesthetic you can see every time you turn on the fucking television. Just look at all these fucking rappers. You know what I'm saying? Look who at the fucking BET Awards. Look at just on these fucking TV shows. On these fucking reality shows. Her aesthetic is a dime a dozen every fucking where. Just like a nigga wearing fucking skinny jeans or Tim's, that shit is a dime a dozen. It's not fucking unique. There's nothing wrong with being confident in yourself and your beauty, but that's not nothing unique. And this idea that, first of all, I'm trying to see what made her think that all of that was necessary. If she was uncomfortable, she said, "Oh, I might have been uncomfortable," or, what I'm saying, they don't know what was going on with me. And then the next second in that same fucking interview, you talking about if it was Chris Brown, you wish it was Chris Brown. Harvey had even asked you from TMZ, your purpose was to meet Chris Brown, and she's like, yeah. So she's contradicting her fucking self all the way around. But her look, her aesthetic is a dime a dozen. I know plenty, like I said, plenty of women that look like her in my family. I know plenty of light skinned girls, you know what I'm saying, that I've met in my lifetime. They live in the same city. I've worked with girls who look like that, body, but you know what I'm saying? She is not giving any, the mold has been broken type of aesthetic. Her look is a dime a dozen. She's very pretty, but her look is a dime a dozen. There's nothing unique about her as far as the look is concerned. Now she may fucking be a brain surgeon. You know what I'm saying? She may have an IQ of fucking 285. But the aesthetic is not anything that is unique. You know what I'm saying? For her to, the whole, she was contradicting herself the whole fucking time. One minute, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna be bullied. You know what I'm saying, you know you're self assured. The next minute you cursing out every fucking hoe in Chattanooga because they don't look like you and they jealous of you. The next minute you saying how you felt you weren't comfortable with Usher, but the next minute is, oh, I would have got a little bit freaky. It would have been a little bit different if Chris Brown. I mean, so bitch, you all over the fucking place, all over the fucking place with that shit. So that's how you know she, you know. But I mean, and here's the thing, and I want y'all to think about this for a second. Imagine, just imagine, if the roles were reversed and instead of Usher being rejected, it was Chris Brown. Imagine instead of Usher, it was Chris Brown. And he was being rejected by one of them blazing women, and nothing against him, but let's say he was being rejected by one of them blazing women who said no. One of them blazing women who prefers a darker skinned man, and she don't want no light skinned brother. You know what I'm saying? She want a brother to look like Usher and darker. You know what I'm saying? With the white teeth and pretty smile. Y'all tell me how that shit would have ended, cause I have an idea. Y'all tell me how that shit would have ended had it been one of them blazing girls and it was Chris Brown that got rejected by one of them blazing women that he loved so much, and said they prefer a darker skinned man. They want they don't they uncomfortable. They thought that they were going to get Usher, you know, serenading them. Imagine what that rejection scenario would have looked like. I already know. Y'all tell me in the comments. What do y'all think that rejection scenario would have looked like had one of them blazing women that Chris Brown loves so much rejected his ass and was just as focused and determined the way this girl was when she rejected Usher? I want to hear what y'all have to say in the comments, because that's the one that you think this shit went viral with Usher and this girl Cheyenne. If Chris Brown had been rejected by one of them blazing girls or anyone female, imagine what the fuck that would have. And imagine if it was a darker skinned girl, a chocolate melanated beautiful sister who rejected Usher. Imagine what the fuck that would, how that shit would have ended. I can only fucking imagine. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and help us be along when I build this Dragon King 72 Media LLC. I got a great thing coming up. Y'all gonna enjoy it. I'll explain it more as I get closer to it. And that's gonna be something that is going to benefit the progressive minds. But y'all like, subscribe, and share. And y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments if the roles were reversed and Ush and Chris Brown had got rejected by one of them blazing women and one of them beautiful chocolate melanated sisters, and they said and curved his ass. Y'all tell me how that would have went, cause I'm curious what y'all think, cause I know in my head how it would have went. Y'all let me know. Peace out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a blessed morning. Not a Christian blessed morning, cause I ain't Christian, but just blessed. Period. Good. Have a good morning. Peace out.